Mexico. Key insights: what is happening with the new water law and the agricultural crisis. Mexico is facing a defining moment in its modern history. This is not a single emergency, but two parallel crises converging on the same territory: the dispute over water control and the financial insolvency of food producers. While cities debate the legitimacy of water concessions, the countryside fights for a fair price to survive. The water conflict. The water conflict in Mexico is, above all, a clash between two opposing legal visions. The country operates under the 1992 National Water Law, a regulation designed under a market logic that allows the buying and selling of concession titles, favoring industrial and private use. However, since 2012, the Constitution has recognized access to water as a human right. This contradiction has kept the country in a legal void for over 12 years, as Congress has not issued the new general water law to harmonize reality with the constitutional mandate, the 2024 to 2030 Plan and Social Distrust. To tackle the chaos, the federal government has presented the National Water Plan 2024 to 2030. Its strategy is based on three pillars: organization, the creation of the National Register of Water for Welfare, RENUBA, to eliminate the black market for titles; technification, massive investment in agricultural irrigation to recover water and allocate it for human consumption; agreements, negotiations with industrialists for the voluntary return of unused water volumes; social resistance led by collectives such as Agua para Todos, Water for All, criticizes the measures as tepid. They argue that voluntary agreements are insufficient in the face of historical dispossession and fear a simulation that legitimizes current concessions. The latent fear is a nationwide repetition of the Querétaro model, management that, under the banner of efficiency, ends up privatizing the service and restricting supply to those who cannot pay. The agricultural crisis. While there is debate over how to irrigate the land, those who work it face technical bankruptcy. The corn crisis is not one of product scarcity, but of financial profitability, the mathematics of loss. Commercial farmers responsible for the mass production of white corn report that production costs have surpassed profits. Planting a hectare today costs between 45,000 and 55,000 pesos due to the rise in fertilizer and diesel prices. However, the selling price is set internationally on the Chicago Stock Exchange. Factors such as the super peso and the global drop in grain prices have resulted in producers being offered a payment of approximately 5,000 pesos per ton. With an average yield of 10 tons per hectare, the farmer barely recovers their investment after 6 months of work, without obtaining any profit to subsist. The tortilla paradox. Social outcry intensifies when observing the supply chain. While the producer is paid less for their harvest, the price of tortillas in cities continues to rise. Farmers point to large intermediaries and flour companies, such as Maseca or Cargill, as the winners of this distortion. They buy cheap by taking advantage of the countryside's desperation, store the grain, and sell the processed product at high prices. The sector's demand is clear: a guaranteed price of 7,000 pesos per ton to ensure profitability, a measure the government has applied to small producers, but has excluded commercial agriculture from, triggering the takeover of airports and highways in the north of the country. The threat to sovereignty. Both problems, water and corn, reveal the fragility of national sovereignty. Regarding water, the state struggles to regain authority over a resource that the market has managed as merchandise for decades. Regarding corn, the government faces pressure from the USMCA and the United States to accept transgenic corn, while national producers warn that, without fair payment, they will stop planting quality white corn. The crossroads is absolute. If democratic water management is not resolved, cities will collapse. But if a fair price is not guaranteed to the farmer, the countryside will empty, leaving Mexico dependent on imports to eat. Implications for foreign residents in Quintana Roo. For the international community residing in Quintana Roo, the water crisis and agricultural insolvency currently shaking central and northern Mexico are not isolated events, but direct warnings regarding the sustainability of the lifestyle in the Caribbean. Although geography separates the tropics from the northern cornfields, the economy links them inextricably. For the foreign resident, the competitive advantage of the cost of living in Mexico is undergoing a major reconfiguration. Quintana Roo, functioning as a logistical hub that imports almost all its food, is the first point to feel the impact of supply chain inflation. The bankruptcy of corn producers and the lack of regulation on base prices translate here into a cost of living that rises well above the national average.